presentation. Thank you very much, and welcome to all of you for this power-packed panel discussion on CSR and how government can take more CSR to the government. I represent the hello. I represent the Chamber of Indian Market Small and Medium Enterprise. It's an outfit dedicatedly for the upliftment of CSR MSMEs throughout the country. And as a CSR initiative, we have started a SME helpline, which provides seamless services to the MSME sector, emphasizing the growing environment where CSR has become one of the most important discussed issues. MSMEs perhaps could be one of the beneficiaries of the CSR being advocated by the big large corporates, where there could be ancillaries, there could be supporters, there could be service providers. So this session will throw light on how MSMEs can be the beneficiaries as well as could be a part of the CSR, and how this CSR can be deliverable and improve the governance all across the markets, and more specifically the capital markets where the MSMEs are finding it difficult to raise loans. Thank you very much. Now I hand over to Mr. Charlie to take a lead.
You can actually see a list of the way in which you want to go, the speakers one.
Yes, the format.
So yeah.
The precise format would be.
First of all, I'd like to share this about minimum 2%. The act is not before me, but I suppose this 2% is the minimum. So there is no bar, in fact, for any company to invest any amount more than 2%. And if anybody doesn't want to invest at 2%, I suppose they have to just declare it in their annual account. So in my opinion now, since the act is already in place, so I don't see there is any use of discussing whether this 2% should not be there. Whatever act is there, I suppose we have to follow it now, and we have to see what is the impact of that thing on the society. I also don't agree that honest people are not there. I suppose there are a lot of honest people as of today also. Many people are not using the benefits of all the facilities, in fact, which have been given to you. I can just share with you, not an exposure, but I just share with you that I'm director on the board of Dena Bank also. Sir, as a director on the board of a bank, I am entitled to travel in a business class. I am entitled to have a PRO with me. But Badhan Sahab, I'll just let you know, I have written to my board that I'll not travel in the business class. I'll not use any facility of the PRO, and I have already started that thing, in fact. So, and I suppose everybody of us are doing some or the other CSR activities. This part of this gathering, I suppose, many of you will be, doing CSR activities at the house also. Maybe you may be teaching the son or the daughter of your maid servant, in fact. So, health and education are two very important aspects of CSR activities. We from our Dena Bank also, we do a lot of activities. We have taken the, girl child of a state, in fact, and we help them in the higher secondary education. And till date, I suppose we have more than 2,000 scholarships have been given by us. We have started Rural Self-Employment Training Institute also. As far as Mr. Madan has told that, MSME sector, because I represent the MSME sector also. So, sir, you told that MSME sector doesn't give the true and fair profit in their balance sheet. I agree and I disagree also. Sir, I suppose this concept is now for everybody. If MSMEs are not declaring the profit, yes, we have to educate them to declare the correct profit, in fact. But what we are seeing in the cases of large electricity companies, the government is not relying on the balance sheet of duly audited balance sheet of these companies, and CAG audit has already been started. So it depends on person to person. Ethics is not because of MSME or because of the large corporate. Ethical person can be within the MSME, within the large corporate also. So yes, we have to do some CSR activities, definitely, and no doubt about it. I don't see anything about it.
Mr. Roy, go ahead.
I think as an MSME representative, I see this as an opportunity, and even the RBI governor in one of
to satisfy yourself that what you intended to happen on the ground, impact you wanted to create, actually was created. Alright? Now, whether you give it to an NGO or to a social enterprise or to an MSME is your choice. You choose your partner. Having chosen your partner, you need to monitor very carefully and see that the impact you wanted to create is actually created. If it is created, you will derive the satisfaction, right, from the money you have spent. The second point is, donation or charity is not CSR. We have a popular term called checkbook charity. That is prohibited under the law. Writing a check is not what CSR is about. You have to make a project which will have a start date and an end date. You will have to say in that project where geographically is it located. What amount of money will you spend on that project? What are the impacts you want to create out of that project? Okay? Now, whether there is an evaluation that you want to have at the end of the project, all of these things are part of the project. And the project is a cost. If your budget is 5 crores, you may create 5 projects, 1 crore each. Or one project, 5 crores. Your choice. Okay? So, but in the end, the satisfaction you derive will come from monitoring it well to ensure that it happens well. And for that, you must choose a good, reliable agency. What did Suhail say? All that will happen is the public sector chiefs will give it to their wives' agency. Now that's also a gender-prone statement. It's not about wives' agency. It could be a woman in charge giving the keys to the spouse. I've seen that also happen. So the fact is, we have said here that you cannot have an NGO or an agency which does not have an established 3-year track record of implementation. If it doesn't have it, you can't use it. You know, everything that the doubts that are being expressed have been thought through to the very end. The worry again expressed was ministers. Now understand that of these 16,057 companies, 16,000, ministers are involved with 110 out of 16,057. Because public sector entities are only 110. Okay? Even presuming that in these 110 the minister has control, how will he exercise it? We are bureaucrats. We know exactly what ministers do, far better than Mr. Seth will ever know. He knows what the private sector does. We know what the public sector does. Now here the fact is that in the board, you have to have a 3-member committee, one of whom will be an independent director. The names and faces of each of these 3 people will be on Corporate Affairs website, IICA website, and in the director's report, which the managing director will make to the shareholders. Therefore, these 3 people who are the CSR committee of the board are targeted by name and face. If any project is done which does not meet the requirements of the law, these 3 august personages are liable to what you know? Guess the punishment. 25 lakhs individually penal, 3 years imprisonment. Now, will the director listen to his minister? What is the first parliament question that we receive? In the minister's constituency, how many companies have spent how much money through which NGOs? Please provide the list of NGOs. Please tell us who owns these NGOs. You are a minister. Will you take this risk? Try to understand. We have closed every single door, every single window, every single ventilator to prevent misuse of any kind of this CSR. Because in the end, the liability rests with the 3 board members and the MD. When you write your policy, and you have to write this policy before 31st of March 2014, this policy has to have in the annexure every single project which you will take up in the year 2014-15. We are not going to read your policy, but we will read every annexure. On the 1st of April 2014, I will know 16,057 companies. What is their list of projects? On each project, how much will they spend? Where? In which area? And who will be the implementing agency? And that will be public knowledge. Because the Act specifies that in your policy, you have to write down every activity which you propose to undertake. The level of disclosure is substantial. In the rule-making committee, Mr. Vijay's contribution is substantial. Because we thought it through. Where are the loopholes? What can people take advantage of and what they cannot? And that's why he emphasized the fact about the CSR committee and the policy that has to be framed.
There is a responsibility statement also.
Now, after the 1st of April 2015, this responsibility statement that he talks about, every one of these 16,057 companies will file a return. That return is like your income tax return. It's online. That return specifies how many projects, where did you spend it, how much money did you spend on the project, who implemented the project. And if any substantial information is not available in that return, our MCA 21 will not accept the return. Remember, the punishment I told you was not because you did nothing. The punishment applies if you don't file the return. So you have to file that return in the month of April 2015, at the end of the year 14. Okay? Right, I'll stop here for a pause. If there are any quick questions, then I'll make a couple of others.
So I have a quick question. You said that it is not mandatory, and you said that naming and shaming is usually enough. And then media and civil society will take up. I was wondering, sir, I mean, there are people over there who are really quite
Shameless?
absolutely sure.
Let them be shameless. They'll be shamed in due
These
course.
are the right people over here, people who care. But I
Your
think
view
that's
is
just-
exactly opposite of Mr. Seth. No, point is, as I said repeatedly, government is not going to be an inspector. We don't want to breathe down people's necks.
I had no idea, by the way, that it was like this.
I wanted to
Yeah,
push
and that's
it
why
very quickly.
his clarification means a lot.
Again, putting myself in your position, as I do every day, if I am a company, I have not done CSR, how will I do it? I am the MD of that company. I sit with my board members and I say, guys, government, idiotic as it is, has thrust this damn CSR down our throats. What do we do? Okay? Everybody comes up with ideas because people love talking about ideas. And then you say, okay, right, who in my company will do it? Silence prevails. Because when you want to name a person who, nobody wants to build a cat. Everybody else can do it, but not me, right? You need a CSR professional. In your company, you might ask, who knows CSR? And the answer always will be, sorry, nobody knows. I'm not talking about those 500. I'm talking about the others. Now, if this was a marketing program, or this was a finance program, or an HR program, what would you have done? You'd have gone to a B school or a professional, hired an HR guy, a marketing guy, a finance guy. There are people around all the time. Where do you find a CSR person? Does a CSR person exist on this planet? Forget about India. And the answer is no. We have not created any CSR professionals anywhere in the world. So generally what HR person by tu bhi dekh le, ye bhi by tu bhi dekh le, that person already has his plate completely full. Where does he have time for CSR? Why should he? Now budgets are too much. Give you an example. Mindtree. Till yesterday on CSR they had a 2-person staff. Budget 1 crore. These 2 people had never met their CMD in their entire lives. The CMD is a god, whoever meets the CMD. Suddenly, after our act came into the thing, I met these 2 guys. They said, sir, our budget has jumped from 1 crore to 10 crores. What do you say? We've seen our CMD 4 times in the last month. And we feel so empowered because we're on the map. We're actually going to do, our CSR department is spreading. We're being asked, come on guys, look around, find things to do, tell me what we can do. We are buzzing. So there is a complete change in the morale of people who've been in CSR. My institute, the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, will create, beginning 1st June 2014, the first certified course for CSR professionals. On our website, the advertisements will come in the month of March. We will open it up for a 9-month online course. You have to visit my institute only twice, the day we inaugurate it and the day we give you the certificate. Okay? And this course is open for professionals in organizations who want to upgrade, and for young people or anyone outside who wants to make a career in CSR. What's happened to CSR? From the back room to the boardroom. Today, if I'm a CSR person, I see myself sitting on the board, no less. And that's why this enormous desire to create bodies of professionals. And we in IICA are promoting that as a cause. Number 2, I'll just take your question back. You are starting a CSR program. Let's say you find a CSR professional, hopefully from our supply. What's the second thing you need? And this is something which Poonam explained very well. You need to find an implementing agency. Okay? Now we know that this is these social businesses, like MSMEs, social enterprises, social entrepreneurs. And we have removed the word profit as a key word from doing public good. You can do public good and make profit. Why not? That's why we have suggested that if you must have good social enterprises who do good social work and still make profits out of it. What's wrong with it?
Sorry, I will just interject, which is why I said that NGO thing has become a perception issue.
Exactly. And I want to clear that because it is so important. But you can also use NGOs. The second question which Poonam drew our attention to was this: are NGOs equipped today to do the job? Remember, Mr. Vijay said 20,000 crores. He's absolutely bang on. It's 20,000 crores per year to be spent by 16,057 companies. Okay, very quickly. How many NGOs are there in India?
More than
3 million.
3 million?
More than a million.
Exact number. And Poonam, as usual, bang on the gong. 3.3 million. Exactly. These are 3.3 million registered under Societies Registration Act of 1861. Exactly 3.3 million. People don't know this. And therefore they ask, where are the NGOs? even presuming that 50% of these 3.3 million are not doing anything worthwhile, that still leaves you with 1.5 million, 15 lakh NGOs. You ask yourself this question: what is the average absorptive capacity of the average NGO in India? Okay? Who will answer that question? Don't worry, there's always me. It's roughly between 20 to 30 lakhs a year, currently, without having jacked up their capacity or having built their capacity. If it is 20,000 crores, and if there are, roughly the absorptive capacity is 20 lakhs a year, we need about 100,000. Just 1 lakh NGOs is all we need. 3.3 million, you need 1 lakh NGOs. Are they there or not there? Quite obviously they are. Now, having answered that question, suppose you needed to find one. Said, okay, they may be there, where do I find them? How do I know they are good? How do I know that their track record has been verified? How do I know that their documents have been verified? NGOs could be here today, gone tomorrow. There again, the IICA, my institute, is creating the NGO hub. On my website, you will find empaneled NGOs. If you write to us that we are going to do X project, please suggest 3 or 4 NGOs. We send you a panel. We will verify their records. We will do the due diligence. And we will send you the names. Our hub is again starting 1st June 2014. So our idea is to provide you with services, because government, when it thought of this program, also created an institute which gives you the supporting services to do this job. Okay? Finally, you might ask, okay, I have a profession. I have found either a social entrepreneur or an empaneled NGO. Where do I find a good project? Right? And you worry because all kinds of nutcases come to you with all kinds of projects. Where do I find a good, scalable, replicable, doable, sustainable project? Again, the answer is the IICA. We are going to put up shelves of projects on our website. And you could access that and from there, if you want to. You can do any projects of your choice, no compulsion. But our projects will be vetted by a expert panel. And those projects will be put up. And we have projects ranging from, say, 10 lakhs to 10 crores. Your choice which project you want to take. And suppose you say, here is a 5 crore project, but I can give only 1 crore. By all means, we'll help you to find partners who will fund the other crores, so that more than one company can do a big project. And we'll also help you to find the right kind of implementing agency. Now, I said all this to you now because all the misgivings that are being expressed come from lack of knowledge. Okay? Nobody reads, nobody understands. You speak a lot and go away. The fact is, every single part of this has been thought through. Again, the point made was, people will go away from 2% because 2% is all we need to spend. 2% is a cap. Again, wrong. Factually incorrect. If you read the Act, it says a minimum of 2%. It already says in the Act. Why should there be a confusion? If you have a confusion, there's only one section, 135. It has only 5 sentences. At least read that much. If you don't even read 5 sentences from the Act, you have no right to come on a stage and speak. You are either informed or not informed. But to be ill-informed is horrible. Okay? So I wanted to say this all to you because there has been a tremendous thought process. The 2% is behind us. Whether companies should do CSR, should not do CSR, is also behind us. There is an act in place. And lastly, I'll close with this two sentences. Because we are at an MSME forum, the opportunity of social business enterprise is given in Schedule 7. Please read item number 6 of Schedule 7. Social business enterprises is in the schedule of the Act itself. Therefore, as you rightly said, Mr. Jain, the opportunities for MSME. What this Act has given you the opportunity to do is to showcase what you're already doing or to start what you have not done before. That's all that the Act is. And I know that many, most of the companies, despite their initial misgivings, are coming around to the view that, hey, we have an opportunity. And that opportunity will increase our brand image, will give to our customers the feeling that our company has a heart and a mind. And many CEOs and CMDs are saying, wow, this is an opportunity for us to do what we always wanted to do, but maybe didn't have the time, or didn't have the energy, or didn't have the people, or didn't have the format. Now we have a chance, let's do it. So I'm happy to work with anyone who writes into us. Atul Sharma is here, he's our contact point for the Institute. Any questions, any misgivings, we'll be happy to handle that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the very
One quick question here.
articulate.
So there are a few questions if we can take. One from
You want to take this?
That's okay. I'll yell loud enough. So I had just one question. Just as much as you are doing a due diligence on NGOs, etc., and having them sort of registered with you, are you doing the same for social entrepreneurs and MSMEs, and will you have that database as well?
No. Frankly speaking, this is a new idea that you're giving us. We're not averse to doing it, we can. NGOs are easy to deal with because we know mostly where they exist. There are lists of it. Social enterprises, we don't really have a comprehensive list. That we could do it. Would you want us to do it or not do it? What's your view?
I think it would be important because as a company, if I'm looking to start something and there is a certification of an MSME as well, which I know that I can get involved with, I mean, I might want to transfer skills and I might even want to take equity in that business. So that's one opportunity. The second one, and this is in defense of the NGOs, yeah, having been a practitioner on the other side, it's very easy to contemplate and sort of label the NGOs as saying, you know, you've been doing something for 30 years and you haven't made a damn of a difference. Fact of the matter is that when you are dealing with social change at that level, it takes n number of years to deal with it. I did my first step in, and I will recount this story from the corporate sector.
We don't have that time. But
Sorry,
I recognize that when you
Yeah.
say that there are some who but also now the Act gives us the opportunity to track that.
My limited point was to bring this entrepreneurial delivery approach even if you're not profit.
So let's say
That's
animal spirit
That's
into
the
the
point.
NGO.
That's
That
the
I-
point.
I'll need to stop with you then. Yes, ma'am, you've been waiting
Mr.
for
Chatterjee, this
yes.
is reference to...
I keep seeing you at many of my seminars.
Yes, hi, I'm
It's a
Deepa
pleasure to have
Menon.
you back. Yes, Deepa, tell
I
me.
manage the CSR for PVR Group. This is reference to what is CSR and what is not CSR. With so much of money coming in, which is around 20,000 crores, a lot of programs corporates drive as employee-driven programs. A lot of corporates also use the same money through brand on marketing initiatives where they say that, you know, your hands are clean and hence it's about healthy India. How do you differentiate the brand vis-a-vis to use the funds rightly? Philanthropic, community initiatives, all right, we know that we need to do that. But when it comes to brand and brand perception inside, is that a CSR or not? In terms of...
Actually this is a very good question and I struggle sometimes to answer that bluntly. There is something known as shared value. Alright? Michael Porter and Kramer of the Harvard Business School have propagated the idea that in a business project, it's possible to do social good, even if you are doing a good business project. Okay? Of course, they stretch it to the extreme and say all good CSR is about doing good business. That maybe is stretching it too far. But at least some good business projects also do good social development. And in our rules, we have given space to shared value. It's admissible in the rules. If you are doing a good business project, you believe that as a result of doing that project, some social good also comes. The only rider in our rules is that if you believe that social good is coming of it, please quantify it. How many people receive benefits and in what measure? Because as you said, what is CSR, what is not? The first rule of what is CSR is it must be rupee measurable. If it is not rupee measurable, don't do it as CSR. So I am honest, I'm good, I'm great, I do no harm, I love my employees. All that is not CSR by the current act. Those are good things in the broader realm of CSR. Like he said, you teach your maidservant's child on your off time. It's wonderful as individual CSR. But this is company money. So when you give us your returns, individual offline activities will not count in the return you give to the government. Okay? Now your hand washing campaign, and I'll close with this, is to me still a conundrum. Not so much the each of our ITC.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, I can tell them how many farmers are you benefiting, and how much are you benefiting them. I know that you make Ashirwad Atta. I know you sell it at humongous profits. In all probability, you are exploiting these farmers. However, we can still say we know there are farmers that you are benefiting. So just tell us to what extent. Now look at the Hindustan Unilever, and I'll leave you with this conundrum. Hindustan Unilever says, wash your hands, folks. Mothers, children, wash your hands 20 times a day, 40 times a day. You will eliminate bacteria. You will have a clean environment. You will be sanitized. Your hands will be sanitized. Your children will be sanitized. Your school will be sanitized. Your home will be sanitized. All of the world will be sanitized. But remember, use only Lifebuoy. Don't use Mysore sandal soap. Don't use Lux or whatever they don't make. Now, clearly, there is a moral dilemma here. Is this a rural marketing strategy? I'm encouraging you to wash your soap white because I want to sell my product. Now, there's a moral dilemma. Should I classify this as my CSR? Should I? What will the world think of it? What will the media think of it? What will social activists think of it? And yet, when I was sitting in the HUL boardroom, the CMD of HUL said to me, Dr. Chatterjee, let me tell you the world's biggest CSR ever attempted. It's the hand washing campaign. And he went on and on about it for an hour and a half and gave me a presentation after that. So when I came home, I didn't know what to do. And there still exists that moral dilemma that if that company files that return, will I accept it or will I not? I'm the doorkeeper. I just don't know what to do. Perhaps I think at some point we have to draw the line at rural marketing per se.
Okay. I have, this particular point has come when we were deciding what is CSR, what is marketing. Like sanitizer, now which Mr. has rightly pointed out that if you are campaigning Lifebuoy, then it is not a CSR. If suppose you are giving free Lifebuoy shop and telling people that wash, even then it is not CSR because in a way you are marketing your product.
But at least it's better. Sacrifice kar rahe ho.
No, but even then, because your brand is creating it, your income is going up because of this example. Like that lady was asking PVR cinema. So if you are giving free tickets to some people and saying come to my cinema hall, and then you are propagating to the entire world. It is not CSR. If you are taking a poor children to the cinema hall, giving them silently, it may be CSR on that aspect. But otherwise, if you are getting a branding advantage, it is not CSR.
Thank you.
All right,
very much.
yes, sir. All right, this is the last question. I got to run out. Yeah.
Is healthcare campaigns run by pharmaceutical companies will be considered as CSR? They're not giving the brand. Let's say GSK runs a campaign on
It's a
cardiology
healthcare campaign. Of course it will.
So,
See, here, but they're not promoting their
marketing
products.
campaign. That's all.
So then what will be the draw line between HR? I mean, there are many pharmaceutical companies which are doing R&D and they are showing it in CSR. That okay,
R&D is not CSR. Let's be very clear on that. Okay, I got to run now. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'll put NRGH with the flower. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Somebody will call you.
And I applied.